If you like to make your NFL games a little bit more interesting, you've come to the right place. It's the Even Money Podcast with Ross Tucker and Steve Fezzik.
Yeah, Vegas, baby. Vegas. It is the Even Money Betting Podcast presented by DraftKings, the number one betting podcast for the NFL. And we had another winning week, which was huge. We needed that after the Week 3 debacle. I'm Ross Tucker, former NFL offensive lineman, 5 teams, 7 years. Most of you know that. Thursday night, I'll be in the Westwood One radio booth for the Niners and the Rams. Then Saturday, my first college game of the year, actually. Air Force at Navy, noon on CBS. Every single CBS television that's out there, I will be on it. Looking forward to it. If you're into betting on college football, highly recommend the College Draft Podcast. That podcast is doing fantastic, including, thousands and thousands of views on YouTube, like this show, youtube.com/Ross Tucker NFL. Steve is the star of the show. Check him out on social media at Fezzik Sports. He's the only two-time winner of the Super Contest. He has been a professional sports bettor for over 25 years. Has all the documented track record success. Here's what we do every week. We spend a little less than 10 minutes going over our results from the week before. So A, you can check our work, and B, see what we did well on, what we need to improve on. And then we dive into all of our bets for the following week in the next 15 minutes. It's only about 25, 26, 27 minutes. We actually do have a couple buys this week, which change things up a little bit. And we do it every single week. Steve, let's start with last week. We needed it, man. I was up 9.4 units. You were up 4.6 units. And we went 5-0 on our best bets, which was 2-0 on totals, which I give you a lot of credit. You're really the total guy. And then 3-0 on teasers. Interestingly, I had a ton of teaser legs, Steve, if you remember. And we only went 1 unit on all of them. It would have been really nice in hindsight if we had gone 2 units on all of them. I can't remember if I had 8 or 9 legs. I'm not going to do the math right now. But we hit all of them except the Packers, which you did not go in on. I had teased the Packers down to -1. And they couldn't beat the lowly Cowboys. It started, Steve, Seahawks, Cardinals, and we teased the Seahawks up to 7.5. You were all over that line move. They ended up being the favorite in the game, and they won it outright, and we had them up to +7.5.
Seattle might be good. Seattle's a contender to winning the division. Really good underlying numbers, so an undervalued team heading into the year.
That was one teaser leg. Then Steelers, Vikings. How about another one? Took the Steelers up to 8.5. They were getting 2.5. And they won the game outright, 24-21 over the Vikings.
Could be a long week for the Vikings across the pond here. Lots of injuries. And the Vikings were looking to go 2-0 in Europe. They might go 0-2.
Then we've got Eagles, Bucks. I leaned to the Bucks getting the 3 points. That was all we had. The Eagles won by 6. Another blocked kick for a touchdown as the Eagles held on late. Giants, Chargers. So I leaned Giants getting the 6 points. They won the game outright. We try to give you guys leans, even if we don't want to make it an official play. For those of you that like to go ahead and bet more games, or you're in an office pool or whatever. So the lean came through. Steve, you put 2 units on the over 43.5. That is not what happened. Chargers losing Joe Alt, their left tackle, totally ruined that for you, as Herbert just got destroyed all game.
Yeah, and there was very little offense from the Giants also. I did not deserve to win that bet, especially after the Alt injury. A little bit of a phony win for the Giants also.
Saints, Bills. I put a unit on the Saints getting 16.5. That was just too many points, and that was correct. They lose 31-19, but they cover. Commanders, Falcons was another teaser leg. Not one of the ones you went in on. You went in on Texans, Lions, Seahawks, Raiders, Chiefs. So you hit all six of your teaser legs. Steve, or no, there's more than that. But you hit all of your teaser legs. I'm the one that got the Packers one wrong, unfortunately. But the Falcons came through for us up to 8.5. They won the game outright. I mean, we had a lot of teaser legs, Steve, that won the game outright. Should people, if we tease a 2.5 up to an 8.5, should people consider taking those teams outright? Is that basically a lean?
No, because you're the optimal bet is to tease it upwards. How good was the Atlanta teaser? Atlanta closed, the minus 2.5 point favorite in that game. So if you played back in the other direction, you hit both sides when Atlanta won by 7.
Well, that was because we were kind of ahead of the news on Jaden Daniels and Terry McLaurin, which is why we record it Tuesday mornings, 8:25 a.m. Eastern, 5:25 a.m. Vegas time for Steve. It's imperative you guys turn the notifications on for your podcast app and youtube.com/RawSuckerNFL so you get the show as soon as it's ready. Titans, Texans, I leaned under, Steve. Man, you were all over that one. You put 2 units on the under, and the total was 39.5. The Texans won 26-0. That game wasn't even close to getting to the total. That was my game for CBS. Browns, Lions. I was showing faith in the Browns after the Packers win and their defense. That was a bad bet. I put 2 units on the Browns, getting the 8.5. They lose 34-10. Patriots, Panthers. I leaned Panthers getting the 5.5. You leaned Patriots. Patriots blew them out of the water. The one that really stings me from this past week, Steve, Colts, Rams. I got my beloved 3.5 for the Colts. I thought they were the better team. You put 1 unit on the over 49.5. Look, we both basically got screwed by A.D. Mitchell. The final score is 27-20 Rams. A.D. Mitchell drops the ball before he scores a touchdown. Then he gets a holding penalty on Jonathan Taylor's touchdown. So we easily would have hit the over. The Colts, at a minimum, would have covered. So A.D. Mitchell screwed both of us, Steve.
You're the former NFL player, and I ask you, would there be a revolt if every NFL and college football coach just demanded you score a touchdown, you sprint to the middle of the end zone, you hand the football to a referee, you sprint back to the sideline, and then you could do whatever celebration that you want, and it would eliminate the sort of nonsense, which seems to become more and more prevalent. Guys, there's a bunch of guys celebrating before their touchdowns that didn't fumble, but we see one of these every month, Ross.
It's inexcusable. It's a great point. And yeah, I would be the coach that says, let's make this a thing. Let's make this a thing that we celebrate on the sideline, like Ickey Woods doing the Ickey Shuffle back in the day. Guys used to do that. All right, Jags, Niners. I put a point on the Jags, or unit on the Jags, getting 3 points. You lean Jags. They won outright. Looks like Purdy's banged up again. I don't know if he'll go Thursday night. We'll find out from Dr. Chow in episode 2 of the Even Money podcast, which comes out Thursdays every week with the parlays and the props and Dr. Chow, the line moves. Remember, you can get all of our bets, patreon.com/RTmedia. Just make sure you're a Tuckheads member to get the grade sheet. Bears, Raiders, we had the Raiders up to 7.5 as a teaser. That came through. Chiefs, Ravens, had the Chiefs up to 8.5 as a teaser. That came through. Packers, Cowboys. So you took the under, Steve? 47.5, and the final score was 40-40. The good news is you lost by a lot. You had 2 units on the under. You leaned Cowboys, which was the right way. I teased the Packers, and with no CeeDee Lamb, the Packers gave up 40 points to the Dallas Cowboys.
Just crazy. Hey, one quick note on overtime. It's really close whether you take the ball or not. I'm thinking, the more I think about this, I think if it's a low scoring game, I think you should start with the ball, because now there's a good chance both teams might punt or kick field goals and you get that 2-for-1 possession. If it's a high scoring game, I think you want to defer. You want to take the ball second and use that information. Hey, Green Bay, I thought, did a really good job. Maybe they overly did a really good job keeping the ball away from Aubrey after they tied the game with no time left.
I hated it. I hate the NFL overtime rules. I hate ties. And it really bothered me that the Packers seemingly were playing for a tie late. And they even said afterwards that they regretted it. They should have been more aggressive. They had a field goal in the bag. All right. Now you got Jets, Dolphins. Teased the Jets up to 8.5. That came through. We also took the over 44.5. That came through. So that was a nice best bet for us. Broncos, Bengals. I had nothing. You took the Broncos. You took the over 43.5. Did not come close. For the week, I was up 9.4 units with the VIG. You're up 4.6. For the year, I am now back in black, up 1.3 units. You're down 4.9 units. Our strike rate is 57%. We move on. More great stuff right after this. WestShoreHome.com/Ross, project number 6, I think it is. I lost track. They did the 2 upstairs bathrooms. That's 1 and 2. Then they did the front door. That's 3. Then they did 3 more doors, 4, 5, 6. So this is my 7th West Shore Home project. They're awesome. I actually know these guys now at this point. And not only that, the deals they have for you guys, it's crazy. You can buy a full bath remodel and get a shower, replace another bathroom free, or buy a house full of windows and get an entry door free. 12 months, no payment, no interest financing. Save that money, invest that money. And how about this? Just because it's me and just because it's you, they'll give you an extra $500. But you have to schedule it through WestShoreHome.com/Ross. WestShoreHome.com/Ross. See the website for details. Steve, do you know all of your bank accounts and like what they all are and where they all are? I doubt it. Most people don't. That's why I keep telling you guys about Monarch Money. It's built for people like you with busy lives that don't want to ever leave money on the table. I mean, it's not easy to track every dollar like you do with your bets, but think about how much bigger your bankroll could be if you had a finance app like Monarch, which is Forbes' best app for couples. Don't let financial opportunities slip through the cracks. Use the code EVEN at monarchmoney.com in your browser for half off your first year. So think about, we talk about discounts and taking advantage of them and codes all the time. That's 50% off your first year at monarchmoney.com, code EVEN. All right, Steve, let's dive into it. It starts Thursday night. My game. The Niners are getting 5.5 points. The total's 46.5. Niners at the Rams, my radio game.
Yeah, and the Niners are ridiculously injured. The Rams have some great underlying numbers. We missed the line mover a day late on this. I will still strong lean to the Rams.
Strong lean to the Rams for Steve. That's interesting because it feels like the Niners kind of always own them, but I think there's just too much injury uncertainty. It's actually more about Pearsall than it is Purdy for me. I don't even know who the Niners have at receiver that's going to be available for this game. Check in on Thursday with the Dr. Chow episode. We'll have more. Over in the UK, The Vikings are laying 4.5 against the Cleveland Browns, Steve. I'm very curious to get your thoughts on the Vikings, staying over there for the week, and now the Browns coming. The total is a super low 36.5.
Yeah, so I think it's a good spot for the Vikings off of the loss. They stay there. They're fully focused for the week. They have a bye next week, and so teams have done very well pre-bye. But you know what, Ross? I don't care, because Dr. Chow and his folks will be more than happy to explain all the reasons why the Vikings are completely decimated now. So many injuries last week. So I'm going to put 1 unit on the Cleveland Browns plus 4.5. I'm going to go under for 2 units. I think it's going to be a very low-scoring game. And I never do this, but I'm going to do it. A non-Wong teaser. I'm pretty confident this spread is going to go down to 3. I'm going to include Cleveland plus 4.5 up to plus 10.5 in teasers. This is such a low total. I think that those extra 6 points mean so much more. So put Cleveland in on my teasers also.
I'm with you on the 1 unit on Cleveland plus the 4.5. I'm taking the under also. I know that that's crazy low, but the Browns defense is legit. I don't think Brian O'Neill will play at right tackle for the Vikings, and the Browns aren't going to score that many points against the Vikings defense. We know that. So Minnesota, Cleveland, under 36.5, 2 units, best bet for me and Steve. All right, Raiders, Colts. The Raiders are getting 6.5. Totals 47.5, Steve.
Yeah, so I don't like what I saw at all from the Raiders in terms of their game management and some questionable decisions, but, they did win the stats, should have won the game. I could only lean to the Colts that have been playing very well. I'm going to go over for 2 units. Indy's an over team. Maybe they don't fumble on the 1-yard line going into the end zone, and the Raiders have no defense. Over 2 units.
Over 2 units for Steve, 47.5. I thought about teasing the Colts down to minus 0.5 point. I'm a little bit scarred now, though, after that Packers debacle against the Cowboys. I would just lean Colts as well. Giants, Saints. Giants are without Malik Neighbors. The total's 40.5. The Giants are getting 1.5 in New Orleans.
Full disclosure, yesterday for my clients, I gave out the Saints. +1, there was +2s available. Well, now it's flipped, and we talked about these games over and over. Ross, when the line's close to pick 'em, I'll let the odds makers tell me who I'm going to bet on. With the Giants catching +1.5, hey, no Neighbors, but a lot of momentum. It's going to be a close game. I do think the Saints could find a way to win, but I'll take the Giants and teasers up to 7.5.
Totally agree. Giants is a teaser leg up to 7.5. I'm a little bit worried they'll have like Carolina Panthers syndrome where they win a game and then they lay an egg the next week, but I don't think that's going to happen. I'm with you on that. What about the Texans and the Ravens? Totals 42.5, games in Baltimore. Texans are getting 3.5.
I don't think that Lamar's going to play. And if he doesn't play, the Texans are the better team catching +3.5. Give me some Texans, 2 units +3.5.
I agree 1,000% with everything you just said. Even if he does play, the running part of it seems compromised. Texans +3.5, 2 units, best bet. What about the Broncos in Philly against the Eagles? The Broncos are getting 4.5. The total's 43.5, Steve.
Philly just keeps putting up phony win after phony win. This is going to be a field goal game. If the Eagles don't block a kick and run it back again, Denver will cover. So Denver +4.5, just 1 unit.
I'm with you on the Broncos there. And I think it will be a close game. I know it's a Monday night game, coming off a Monday night game for the Broncos, East Coast. Maybe the Eagles put it all together in terms of their offense for a whole game. But I think the Broncos are pretty good. I'm going to go 2 units on Denver. I think this is a field goal game either way. Cowboys, speaking of a field goal game, they're laying 3 points on the road against the Jets. Total 47.5, Steve.
So strong lean to the over. But who are the Dallas Cowboys? Off of that, I know they've got an extra day of rest, but off that marathon game against Green Bay, who are the Cowboys to be laying 3? I'm not sure they're even going to, they should even be favored. Give me the Jets +3, 2 units.
Yeah, no, I'm not doing that. I understand where you're coming from. I will lean to the Jets, but Dak's just playing too well right now for me to do that. Dolphins, Panthers. The Dolphins are getting 1.5 on the road. No Tyreek Hill. Total's 45.5.
Sure, another game that it was unclear who should be favored. I will take the 1.5 up to the 7.5. Miami and teasers.
Totally agree for all the reasons why you stated. The Dolphins have some momentum. They're playing better on offense, even without Hill. So if you can get it at 7.5, we're doing it. Bucks, Seahawks. The Bucks are getting 3 points out in Seattle. Total's 44.5. Seattle has not been good at home for some reason.
Yeah, but Seattle historically, when they are good, has a great home field, home of the 12th man, and they're good this year. And I know the Bucks got back some guys, but absolutely, when they're healthy, the Bucks are going to be awesome on offense with the wide receivers, but they're still not healthy. And I love what I'm seeing from Seattle. Seattle -3, 2 units.
Wow. I'm going to lean to the Bucks because of Seattle's woes at home. It's a lean to the Bucks +3. Titans are getting 8.5 in Arizona against the Cardinals. Total's 41.5.
It just seems too easy. Are the Titans even going to win a game? I mean, single-handedly, there's some people are going to win Survivor contests by just betting against whoever the Titans are playing that week. Arizona and teasers.
Arizona down to -2.5. I agree wholeheartedly. You know, I do think at some point, maybe they'll be able to win a game. I just don't know when that will be. So Cardinals -2.5. That's a teaser leg. Speaking of teaser legs, Commanders are getting 2.5 in LA against the Chargers. Total is 47.5. Steve?
Don't know the status. I assume Washington will get back their quarterback. If they don't, I don't want any part of their teaser. So I'm going to stay on the sidelines. Hey, by the way, Tennessee Titans season win number is 3.5. I know this because I bet them under just about 12 hours ago.
That's a good bet. It feels like a good bet. All right, what about for the Commanders? I'm taking them up to 8.5. Mariota was good, and the Chargers still don't have Joe Alt this week with the high ankle sprain. So Commanders up to 8.5 is my 4th teaser leg, which I like. Lions and the Bengals. The Lions are on the road. They are laying 10 points on the road against Cincinnati. Total is 48.5. That's a lot of points for a road favorite, Steve.
Yeah, and I was looking at the Bengals. I mean, obviously the Titans can't move the ball at all. They're horrific, and they're getting 3.7 yards per play. Not per rush, per play, but the Bengals are below 4. Also, second worst in the NFL. They're almost as bad on offense as the Titans are. I got to pass. No play.
I could only lean, you guys know my history, I could only lean to the Bengals getting the 10 points because they got embarrassed Monday night. But guess what? They got embarrassed the week before by the Vikings, and it didn't make a difference. Maybe they're just this bad. I don't know that it matters if they get embarrassed or not. What about the Patriots and the Bills? Now, the Patriots are getting 8.5. The total's 50.5. The Bills have won the last couple games by double digits, maybe not looked great against either the Dolphins or Saints in doing so. And the Patriots, I think, Steve, are much better than the Dolphins and the Saints.
100%. Bills do just enough to win. I'm going to play the Patriots plus the 8.5, 2 units.
Ooh, I think that's the right call. You know, I was tempted to do the teaser leg with the Bills. I think there's a chance the Patriots win this game. I think New England plus 8.5 is a terrific bet. 2 units, another best bet on the Patriots in Buffalo. How come every Bills game is a home game? Dolphins at home, Saints at home, Patriots at home. Like what? Like 3 home games in a row? You don't see that very often. How about
Maybe
Monday
because
Night
it's
Football?
minus 10 degrees.
Yeah.
Have the Bills games early in the year before it's like below 10, below 0, right?
Yeah, good call. All right. Last but not least, you got the Chiefs. They're laying 3.5 points on the road against the Jaguars. Total's 45.5.
You know, I'm surprised, Ross. I make this game 3.5. I thought I was going to be on Jacksonville, but my power ratings say it's correct. And boy, the Chiefs that offense has awakened, right? But the Chiefs, remember, in prior years, all they do is win these games by less than, a touchdown. I'll lean Jacksonville.
So just so the people know, Steve, how do you, when you say you thought it was going to be more, but your power ratings make it this, can you walk us through that?
Yeah, so I've got Kansas City. My power rating on them is plus 4.5, so they're 4.5 points better than an average team. Jacksonville's minus 0.5. They're half a point worse. So on a neutral, I make the Chiefs a 5-point favorite. Give Jacksonville 1.5 points for home field. Since it's a Monday night game, maybe I'll give them 1.5, and I get to 3.5.
Don't go anywhere. Got to pay some bills real quick. Cannot emphasize enough how cool the merch is at rewards.labattusa.com. Even if you're not a regular or loyal Labatt or Labatt Blue Light drinker right now, go to rewards.labattusa.com to see all the different types of merch. I told you guys a million times, the cooler backpack has been a life changer for me. Life changer. It might even just give you ideas for things you want to buy, even if you're not a Labatt person, but you should be. Rewards.labattusa.com. Rewards.labattusa.com. Buy beer and get gear. Got it. I'm going to put 2 units on the Jags. Now, they've been very fortunate with the turnover luck, but you know what? I'm not convinced that, all is well with the Chiefs because they got Worthy back. I like that the Jags have a lot of confidence right now. Big spot, Monday night. I think the Jags will come to play. 2 units, Jacksonville, plus 3.5. You guys know how much I love getting that. All of our teaser legs this week are back to being 2 units after they were 1 unit last week. So we're back to 2 units on all our teaser legs. All right, here's the keys, okay? Make sure you go to patreon.com/RTmedia. Sign up to become a Tuckheads member of our Slack channel. It's $10 a month, and you get every bet we just laid out there, plus Thursday's props and parlays, all in the most detailed, amazing spreadsheet you will ever find. Patreon.com/RTmedia. Follow me at Ross Tucker NFL, at Ross Tucker Pod. Follow Steve at Fezzik Sports, and turn those notifications on. Good luck, everybody. Hope you guys win some money.
Thanks for tuning in to Even Money. Make sure to also check out the Ross Tucker Football Podcast, Fantasy Feast, and College Draft, all on the DraftKings Network, YouTube, or subscribe to the podcast on your favorite platform.